Well, that's embarrassing. I tried to schedule this live stream and I scheduled it for, instead of 5 minutes from now, 5 minutes and 1 month from now. So hopefully people are going to show up here. I think that I set this to public. I'll find that out in just a minute if anybody joins the live stream. Otherwise, I'll just be talking to myself for a few minutes and waiting for anybody to interact with me. But that generally happens at the beginning of these live streams because it's a very random time in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, to do a live stream whatsoever. But I always like to try to advocate for the rewatch. So if anybody's rewatching this later on, then you're welcome that I didn't just sit here and just stare at the camera or the computer until somebody showed up to the live stream. So I have Psyduck here, and I have some Yoo-hoos, and I'm going to start talking about those in just a minute. But this live stream is going to be about just my April Fool's Day videos that I've been doing on this channel for the past, 5 years now. I think it's been sort of a while. I think that we do have some people in the live stream. Okay, I was nervous. A cup of coffee. Hello, welcome to the live stream. You are always first on my videos. I appreciate that. Chug one of my Yoo-hoos. So I'll get to that in just a second. So what I was about to say is that this video is going to be about my live streams. Hi, everybody. It's going to be about my April Fool's Day videos that I've been uploading for the past 5 years and just kind of going through that and talking about it a little bit and then just talking about what is happening here on the table. And I don't have a lot of time today because I do have to go to work, and that's sort of another topic is just my work schedule and just how draining that has been and different, but it should be course correcting very soon. I should be back on a normal schedule, hopefully very soon. That's going to be consistent with Brennan's schedule. So that is something that we've been waiting for over half a year, definitely at this point. This is a random question that I've been meaning to ask you for a while. Out of curiosity, how many different states have you traveled to? I don't know a specific number of states, but growing up, so my dad was a middle school teacher, and so our summer would sort of coincide with my dad's work schedule, right? Because he was a teacher, so he had the summers to be able to spend time with the family. So we would take these trips every single summer, and we would just do road trips across the United States. So we would drive everywhere. We would go to California and back, and we would just stay in campsites everywhere along the way and back. And so the amount of actual states, I don't know, but I've been all over the U.S., not so much like the north, west, or east part of the U.S., but pretty much just the lower south, anywhere from Florida all the way to California and back upwards to Virginia and New York. So a lot of states. I should actually really think about that. Just all the places that I've had the opportunity to go and definitely want to go back to soon. The idea of doing a road trip is very enticing, very attractive to do, and commit to something like that. But that involves being very strategic with the work schedule, both of myself and Brennan. So we'd have to figure that out. I'm going to put this down because it's just been up here the whole time. But here's Psyduck. He was in my video yesterday. I don't think you would have missed him, but just going to put him over there. So why do I have all these Yoo-hoos here? That would be the question to answer, right? So I don't know how to in what way I should talk about this. I guess right now, because they are right in front of me, and I totally could crack open a cold one with the boys being Psyduck. Whenever I get a lot of the times it's when I want to do something creative, which more recently has been using random toys to determine my day at a theme park or something like that. That idea is sort of induced by seeing something either in Five Below or in a dollar store or something like that, and just knowing that I'm going to do something with it. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with it yet, but I know how my brain works, and I know that I'm going to be able to use whatever toy, whatever item that is, and sort of craft that into something creative, maybe, or the hope into doing something with the video. And sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's why I sort of cap myself and limit myself to Five Below or something. So if I do buy something that's just silly or cheap, it's not much of an investment or a loss if it's just something that I don't think I'm going to be able to use. I've bought one or two things at like the dollar store that I've been wanting to use in some way with a video or something like that, but I have not been able to really make it work. I'm looking at stuff over here that I bought from Temu that I thought I would use somehow at some point. I have like little like radio watches. I have like little printers that I can print to from my phone or something like that I would use, that I wanted to use in like a challenge, but I haven't really been able to think about how I want to do that yet, or even if it'd be able to be done, because it's something cheap from Temu. Temu is obviously not the most ideal website with quality of product, but it gets what I want out of it, which is something cheap, which is something that is, I don't know, it would serve the purpose, right? It would be a low budget investment of a financial return, and at the very least, to just be a fun way to spend my day, because that's what these like video challenges are. It's just occupying and entertaining myself. So, that being said, why are these Yoo-hoos here? I bought these at Sam's Club recently, which is a bulk store like Costco, and I wanted to use them in my April Fool's Day video, which did not work out because you saw the video. Because whenever I think of like specifically the April Fool's Day video, and I'll expand on this just like a little bit in a minute, I always want it to be something like bigger than it actually ends up being, and that's a good thing, right? When I sort of overwhelm myself with the possibility of what I want a video to be, and then I end up scaling it down to be a little bit more realistic and attainable of a creative like investment, and just how I end up making those videos, right? And how this video was supposed to be is, if you didn't watch it, the April Fool's joke is that I recorded my own album, an OIB album, and trying to use little like inside jokes or just relevant self-deprecating just ideas, I guess, and making those into song titles. Just the burden of being a vlogger, and just being overwhelmed by constructive criticism and pandering to that sort of insecurity, and then other like fun little song ideas too that I wanted to like, they're fake songs. I did not write any of those songs. I hope that is kind of obvious. But the original idea is that I wasn't going to have one full complete song as the song that I was going to play. I was going to do sort of similar to an April Fool's video that I did a couple years ago, where it was just going to be me like talking, and then it was going to be interspliced with just a few different examples of like what I was talking about, because the April Fool's video a few years ago was that I was going to be starting a Patreon. There were different tiers to that Patreon as a reward for subscribing to that tier, and so it would be me talking about it and then showing a clip for what that tier would be. So that's what I originally conceived. Oh no, I meant to get my phone for this. I might have to leave in just a second because I want to grab my phone, because I specifically wanted to show something from it. But so remind me, somebody, if I forget to grab my phone. But originally that video, I was going to do a similar sort of like idea with that, where it wasn't going to be one song. It was going to be little clips of different songs. And how I thought originally that idea would go is that I would be trying to talk about this album that I recorded, and then as proof to back up this statement that I recorded an album, I would just share a couple seconds from each song. And that seemed like a reasonable commitment to make to myself, that I wouldn't be really investing that much time and effort into recording full songs. It would just be if I could just record 10 seconds of a song, then that would work. That would still convey that joke and the believability of me recording an album. Not that I like really think that people are got by me and my videos. I think that I've sort of established that year to year is that every one of these is sort of too obvious of a joke that I don't want to be taken that seriously. And if it gets somebody, then that's, I don't know. I personally, I hate pranks. So the type of video that I do is just the maximum prank that I think is appropriate, where I'm not trying to, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to like deceive anybody or make anybody I don't want to say that I don't want to make anybody like sad, because I had my video that said I was shifting away from theme parks to Pokemon. That was like my first April Fool's joke, and people believed that and did get disappointed by that. So I don't know, but I the type of prank, I want it to be something that can be just like enjoyed, that like you can sort of connect on that that wavelength, that it is just not serious, that it's just me being silly and goofy. But so back to this idea that what I wanted this video to originally be was just going to be quick little sound bites from like 3 or 4 songs, and I was going to do like covers of actual theme park songs. I was going to record myself playing like It's a Small World or something, or One Little Spark like as a Disney song, and then maybe All Star from Shrek. And again, just like very quick. I'm getting to the Yoo-hoos, I promise. Very quick little audio clips from all these songs, right? And then I was going to say, oh, but I've recorded some original stuff too that are not just covers of like theme park songs. And then it was going to be Please Don't Be Mean to Me, right? Which was going to be just like a quick little clip of that, just probably the initial like first like 5 to 10 seconds. That was going to be it. And then I was going to say that I recorded other songs too about just completely random stuff. And that's what the Yoo-hoos are about. Because one of my song ideas when I saw all these Yoo-hoos was, can you tell me what to do with all of these Yoo-hoos? And just, I liked that, like, not alliteration, but that rhyming within the same line. I like to do that when I like put lyrics together for songs. So that just stuck in my head, just that line of just, can you tell me what to do with all of these Yoo-hoos? And I was like, oh, that could be a fun song. That could be like a little 5-second clip of a song that I could mix into something kind of catchy and just record it on my guitar and a little something in GarageBand. And then I did not do that because I decided to commit completely and only, which I'm glad that I did this, because I don't think I could have done, I mean, I could have, but I didn't have the full time to dedicate to, like, I don't want to say producing because it sounds pretentious, but just like figuring out the tempo and the sound and everything that I wanted to do with multiple songs. So that's why I committed to just the one Please Don't Be Mean to Me song. So I bought all of these Yoo-hoos, not for no reason, because I will drink them, because I do like Yoo-hoos, but I can actually ask the question, can you tell me what to do with all of these Yoo-hoos? Because I bought them and I did not use them for my April Fool's Day video. So that is unfortunately a 10-minute explanation as to why Yoo-hoos are on the table that I could have said in a second or 5 seconds, that I bought them for the video and didn't use them. But that's why you watch vloggers, right? You watch people because they take 45 minutes to say something that they could say in like 30 seconds, right? Because we are pretty good at that when we try to. So yeah, I'll crack open a Yoo-hoo, and you can shake these. I'm gonna put this over here with Psyduck. Woo! So another thing that I got that I did not end up using for the video yesterday, the April Fool's video, I did use it, but I did not use it. Google recipes with Yoo-hoos. That sounds cool. Please don't explode. Yes. So again, kind of going back to, I'll buy something that's cheap because I convince myself enough that I'll use it at some point in some way in a video, or I'll talk about it in a vlog, or I'll use it at Disney or something like that to justify buying this very inexpensive toy or something, right? So I saw this at Five Below. I also bought something else at Five Below, which that will be its own video at some point. So I'm excited to do that. But this is my miniature grand piano that I got that you see in. So I recorded a little behind the scenes for that video yesterday. So I'll be editing that together. Oh no. You can hear hello. Yeah, so I'm going to be editing that together. I made a behind the scenes as I went through the process of just editing the song and recording it, and the just the entire video process. I did a behind the scenes for that I'm going to be putting into a video at some point. But I got this at Five Below because I was like, okay, I'm doing something at some point that I'll want to use this for. And the original idea, right, is that I was going to have this. Arlo's embarrassing me. So here's the little grand piano, which is adorable. It has like a little compartment in here, so I could totally like hide stuff. Do I have like a delivery or something right now? He only barks like that when there's somebody like right outside the door. So grand piano. I was convinced that I was going to use this in the video. I was going to have like a little piano solo at some point. A Yoo-hoo giveaway. Maybe not. That'll be heavy to ship. Sorry. And then it'll explode. It won't be. No Yoo-hoo giveaways. So sorry. But somebody did send me tomato sauce in the mail, which was pretty cool. That's a whole other tangent. Oh no! I have to rein it in. The tomato sauce. I'm pretty sure that the person that or the people that sent me that tomato sauce met my mom at the Contemporary, and then I met them going off of the elevator, and it was one of those moments of like, I wish that I'd talked to them, but it was a social situation of I didn't know if they were, because they did say hi, but I didn't know if they were talking to me as if they like actually knew me, or I didn't. So that's a regret that I have, and that's an entire other like public perception of being a vlogger that I have severe insecurities about, which is disappointing people in real life that I meet or that know what I do and see me and Brennan at the parks. Because I'll never forget being a Velocicoaster and trying to record Velocicoaster, and then some guys coming up to say hi, and then I was like distracted by Velocicoaster, and then they left a comment on that video that said I wasn't nice, and I will forever be torn up about that interaction because I did not mean to be rude whatsoever. I was just distracted, and then, you know, so just so you know, I think about every interaction that I've ever had with anybody that I've ever met in real life, and if it is one that is awkward because of me, or it is disappointing because of me, then I will never forget it, and I apologize. Anyway, little grand piano. Ooh, I had like a little bit of a Monster Energy drink earlier, so I think that I am all over the place right now. Last night I worked until 1 o'clock in the morning because, again, I'm working on this project at work right now, which we are there very late every night, which has been really fun, but it has been very tiring, and I have to leave to go to work probably in about like 15 minutes. Little grand piano. So I envisioned some sort of like a little like solo with this, a Schroeder from Peanuts sort of thing with this tiny little piano of having like a little solo, and then just like whimsically and fancifully playing this piano during the solo. And I didn't end up doing that. I used other instruments like a marimba and a vibraphone and a glockenspiel and a saxophone and French horn and stuff. And I like a bassoon or something like that, like a woodwind. Didn't really use a grand piano. Didn't use it really any just keys at all. So did not end up using this in the video yesterday, but I bought it, so I made this into the like the album cover, and then I played it at the end of the video along with the outro. But yeah, this is all like, this at least is something that I talk about like in like the behind the scenes, depending on how I edit that together. But yeah, so here's my little grand piano, which again, this is just cute, just for $5. Like I am obsessed with little knickknacks like this that even if I don't need it or something, it's something that I could use in a video. It's something that's like a fun conversational starter. It's a weird little thing to put on like a shelf that just adds a variety to just overwhelming visual overstimulation when it comes to this room in particular, because that's what this room is. Let's see, I tried to play this earlier. Well, I didn't mess up. It wasn't the tempo, but that was Please Don't Be Mean to Me, which that song... Actually, give me a second. I'm back. I got my phone. Okay. So, what I wanted to... Arlo, hope you don't hear that. I don't know, today's garbage day too, so that might have something to do with it. But I wanted to find, hopefully on my phone, I wanted to prove that this video, that this song, this has been something that's been in my head, honestly, for years. I have had this song, just that little melody, that beginning part of the song, in my head, literally for years, and I can try to find, if I can. Okay, so this is an audio clip from March 15th, 2021. And now I need to find it in my memos. Let's see. Okay. So this should be it right here.
Please don't be mean to me. I'm just the guy that's on the internet putting up things that he loves. Please don't be mean to me.
So I'll do that sometimes. I'll just leave myself like little voice recordings or something if I have like a little like head bug, just like whatever that's called, in my head. And to see, because I know that that's a song that's just like been in my head. It's sort of been like an inside joke between myself and Brennan for a while now. And I wanted to go back and see, okay, when did I actually originally first like record that audio recording? And it was in 2021, over 4 years ago. And to finally actually record that song. Bye. That was funny. To finally record that song that's kind of cool, right? Just that I do that in a lot of ways. A while ago, I did a video where I used the finale fireworks of like wishes and illuminations. I like went to the parks on those actual days for the final performances, or I was there to see the final performance of it, and I recorded something just knowing that I would use it at some point, and I didn't use it for years until I edited this thing together involving like time travel and stuff, and I finally got to use those clips. So I do that a lot, not as much as I used to, but I try to do that where I don't know, I like recording stuff, I like having stuff, I like using stuff, I like giving myself that like, thank you Brennan on Snapchat, I like doing that stuff. It's very rewarding for me to just take something from the past and use it in the present. It's letting it marinate for that amount of time, and finally actually like put together like an entire song with so many different instruments and guitar and percussion and little like shooby-doos and oohs. That was so rewarding, and I wish that song was so much longer, but I needed it to be just this very quick joke. So here's my little grand piano. Also, when I was a Five Below, I got this Tigger for Arlo because it's very difficult for me to not bring him back like a little cheap toy, especially from like Five Below or the dollar store, and he absolutely loves this guy. So the April Fool's video. I had something else that I wanted to talk about with that. What was that? I'm gonna drink my Yoo-hoo now. Ooh, that's good. It's warm, but it's good. It was something to do with a song and how, right, okay, so the video itself, the concept for just my April Fool's Day videos, just kind of going back to the original one, is just I wanted it to be like grounded in believability and a realism that it's something that technically, not even technically, it's something that believably you could take as fact. You could convince yourself that it is something that is legitimate, because a lot of April Fool's jokes, they play off of this absurdity sometimes. So to announce something or whatever the video idea is year to year, like I do want it to be something that could be like, that could be real. And I'm trying to think about like all the ones that I've done where the first one was that I was changing my content from, there's a bird right outside this window. That is just, I don't know, is that what Arlo's barking at? Everything is happening at once. But the first April Fool's video that I did was that I was converting my channel from theme park entertainment content to Pokemon card entertainment content, because that was back, right after the pandemic. So I was blocked out of the theme parks for months, and being a cast member, and really the only thing that I had as my own personal hobby just to get me through that time was just like Pokemon cards, which I can't say the same right now because it is 5 times worse than it was back at that point. Then the year after that, let me see if I can actually look up the specifics of my April Fool's videos. They've all been the same format except for the one last year. Whoa, yoo-hoo. Let's see. So then the year after that was that I was starting a podcast, which I've been teasing that legitimately for years, and that's just something that I have not had success with committing to, not because I haven't wanted to do it, but because of another factor that I'll probably talk about in a minute. And then the year after that was, that was when I talked about my new Patreon and membership rewards. So that was a fun one because they've each gotten I'd like to think they've each had a little bit more effort and intention put into them instead of being something casual. Like the first one was just me sitting down and just talking about my channel, and that was all that it was just the simplicity of me just talking to the camera and try to convince you that this was something that it was a legitimate thing that was happening. And a lot of people commented on that and were disappointed or unsubscribed or something, and I was kind of impressed by that many people were convinced. And and then the podcast one, that was just kind of a silly one. I wanted that one to be a little bit more obvious that I was starting a podcast, but the subject of it was going to be reviewing McDonald's Happy Meal toys, which that one was fun. It was sincere because I like Happy Meal toys, and that was sort of like a point of contention at the time because I would do a lot of, I did go to McDonald's and find all these toys for like Disney or Pokemon packs or something like that. So that was something that I thought was being somewhat realistic. Then the year after that, which might be my favorite to date, was the Patreon video. And that was because everyone helped me out with that one, because I had my parents and my brothers and Brennan. They all helped me out with videos. I edited together Photoshop picture silliness, and I don't know, it was I recorded myself in the theme park doing food reviews and a live stream. That one was just fun because it was sort of a combination of a lot of different factors, kind of poking fun at what other content creators do with their Patreon, but then also just making it a little bit more absurd. And that was the point, is all of this, I wanted it to be realistic but also absurd, to where it didn't slight people too much, where it didn't poke too much fun at other people, and didn't put myself in this too harsh of a light, I guess, where it was just obvious. I wanted it to be silly. And then the one last year, this one was one that I had been wanting to do. I didn't want to originally do this one. This was the best day ever at Magic Kingdom, all caps in the title, literally narrating my day, and as I don't know. I was. This one was poking fun at other vloggers, basically, and just vlogging in general, and just that self-image and vanity of being a vlogger in a theme park, and intentionally making all the wrong decisions at Disney, in particular of what rides I was doing, and the food that I was eating, and stuff. And I don't know. That one was just a fun one. Because it enabled me to just what is just the most wrong thing that I could say right now, and that was every single clip of that video. From just starting the video, talking about oh, this video is my opportunity just to take advantage of the popularity of this popular brand and IP and monetize it for my own financial gain or whatever. It was just that kind of thing where it's sort of the sustaining aspect of what theme park vlogging is, but it's the quiet part that nobody really says out loud, and then just trying to make it as just obnoxious as possible with the thumbnail holding the Mickey churro and not the churro, the pretzel and the ice cream bar and the Dole Whip, and I don't know. So that one was like that one was a little bit. Uh, I don't know. That one might have been pushing it a little bit because I'm not trying to make any like enemies or make fun of anybody in the space. It's just I think it's also important to be able to have that like mirror relationship with what this is. And when it comes to theme park vlogging, it's just to be self aware and not to take it too seriously because a lot of people do that, and I don't. They're just like anybody. There are vloggers that I do not like. There are vloggers that I very much so admire, and it's kind of just keeping a peripheral on both of those outliers to try to figure out what I'm doing here. And then the main thing is also just to do what I want to do, and I think that is relevant in any space creatively. Is just you need to just be yourself, and then the people that watch you, and I say this a lot, so repetitive, I know, but the people that watch you are hopefully the most like-minded, and if I can put as much of myself intrinsically, genuinely myself and my opinions and not try to be too fake and try to be vulnerable, then hopefully those people will watch and be a part of that. So that was that video last year, and then this year was kind of like a return to form where it's just sort of like a bedroom, like vlogging film room. Geez, I'm watching myself live right now. That's a weird delay. Yeah, but just starting it in here. This was the shortest one of all, and then cutting it to this music video, and just kind of getting to the point a little bit quicker. This was a very short video because the song itself was only a minute long, and I wish that it was a little bit longer. But it sold the idea, and if I made it a little bit longer than it was, then it would have been a little bit too whiny. And I'm trying to reel that in a little bit. Self-deprecation is only funny to a certain extent, and then it gets a little bit sad. If you whine or complain too much, then it starts to get obnoxious, and I don't want to do that. So I have to be aware of that. Not every live stream can be just whining and complaining about other vlogs and vloggers, or I don't know, the effort that I put into my YouTube channel, or comparatively what others do. I don't know. So I do have to leave kind of soon here in a few minutes. I appreciate everybody leaving comments here. I'm going to leave this up so I can come back and look at this. I don't play TCG Pocket, unfortunately. I kind of did when my brother showed it to me, and it's a much more viable thing to do now when it comes to Pokemon cards. I actually think I was gonna open one of these up. I had to buy this on Amazon. This is the only Pokemon product that I have seen genuinely. I mean, I've seen a pack or something here or there, but Pokemon product is just, it is scarce. It is gone. It is 5 times MSRP. It's being scalped by distributor level platforms to local card game stores that then they have to manipulate the market price to match what's being sold at distributor level. So I had to buy this in such a, I don't think I've ever bought Pokemon cards on Amazon, but I was just on Twitter and I saw a notification that it was restocked, and I was like, okay. And usually whenever I click that, if I am 1 minute late, it's gone, because bots are so destructive with this hobby right now. It takes every single product. And I was somehow able to get this, and I was going to open this because I opened up the Yu-Gi-Oh pack last week, but I think I'll hold on to it because I also got this. I got this today at Target, and I got this for Brennan to open up. So I was gonna hold on to this one, and I was gonna open this one up on the live stream because I opened up the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. But I think I'll save both of these, and Brennan and I tonight, we can just swap, and she'll open this and I'll open this, and we'll see who gets something cool. I did have something I wanted to show over here. I'm just getting up a lot in this live stream. So this is a binder that I originally had my Lorcana in, and then I swapped it over to a Lorcana binder that Brennan got for me. But I started to put in this binder all of my Yu-Gi-Oh from the retro packs that I've been getting. So that's something that I don't know if I'm gonna commit to getting a full set of that, but it's fun that those retro packs, that actually is a complete set. So I totally could just fill this up with just those cards. So I might do that just kind of casually. but I don't know. At least I have something to finally do with this binder now. So yeah, I do got to get going to work. I just wanted to like talk through the April Fool's video. So I do have like an insecurity with it, I guess, that I do want to be able to like to vent about it, because I was talking to Brennan about it, and I have this perfectionism tendency that I have a very difficult time trying to navigate through, and that's probably the reason why I've yet to do a podcast, is because when I want to do a podcast, I want to make sure that it's not just me setting up a camera and talking, which that's how you do things. That's how you start projects and creative outlets, is you just do it. You don't have to be perfect at it. But I also don't want to, I want it to be worth your time. I want it to be worth my time. I have this vision for it, exactly how I want it to look. In a home vlog a while ago, I sort of showed like the setup for it. And now that I've purchased I have 3 cameras that I could do for multiple different angles, and I have like lights that I think would work for it. So I think it's all there. I just need to I need to do it. I need to start it. I need to I have all these like concepts and ideas and topics. So it's there, but I just need to do it. And just kind of leaning into that, like when it comes to perfectionism. There were parts of that April Fool's video, even though it was a joke, I wanted it to be as good as it could be, right? And at the beginning of the video, and you might go back and you might hear this now, if you weren't listening for it, you may have missed it, but one of these lights, and I don't know why, I think it's because I had it plugged into like a external adapter or something like that, because it sounds fine to my knowledge right now, but it was like, it was emitting this like very high pitched frequency that was like it was the entire clip of me just like sitting down and starting and ending the video. And I tried to do a little like manipulation on the frequency to make it like less obvious, but it was still just like, I don't know. I tried to edit it, and I probably could have edited it more, but it was just, it was one of those things where I'm like, I was so excited to put this video out there, and then just hearing this high pitched frequency, that just stinks, you know? And then there were certain parts of the video that I wish I had edited a little bit different. Like there's the key that I did of like the green screen that I used, which you'll see the green screen in that like behind the scenes video. But it looks like it missed a couple like spots, which I should have noticed in like the alpha channel when I was editing the key for that and stuff. But when you have 5 layers all on top of each other with all of those like little plushes that reach their own individual green screen video, and I'd have to like render that into out point in the timeline, and it was hard to really see without doing consistent renders of that workspace and then doing little tweaks, and like every render would take about 15 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes, I don't know, of that particular, you know, in point to out point. So I missed stuff. I also like tried to put this like layer in between like the background and me and like one of the plushes and stuff, and you can see like a little like point in the video where like there's like a little like weird jump where like the background changes for like a millisecond. And so I don't know, I wanted that video to be perfect, and it just like whenever I do like the year-end montage videos, like whenever I go back to that, there's always like some little edit or something that I like missed, like 1 frame or 1 second or 1 audio glitch or something like that. And I know that it can never be perfect, and I know that it's all about, at that point it just became about getting the video out, because I put up my April Fool's Day video at 11:45 at night. So that was the priority. I'd rather get the video out and have it actually be an April Fool's Day video on April Fool's Day versus having it be absolutely perfect, because at the end of the day, it really is just a fun joke. It's not monetized. It was just me doing something fun to kind of fulfill that expectation of that video that I do every year. And I do not know if I'm going to like stop doing that or change how I do that or something. And I don't know if I need to make like a big announcement about that I'm not doing April Fool's Day videos anymore, because it is just too much of a commitment, and I've exhausted my creative mentality, and I'm just forcing it at this point, versus, hey, it's fun to do, and if I give myself enough time and figure out what I want to do in advance and commit to it, then it's a pretty easy video to do. But yeah, this particular video, I did it at the last second. I recorded it yesterday, and I brought it with me to edit at work when I was like when we took our dinner break last night I was like doing the final touches on the video, and I was able to finally export it and upload it at 11:45 at night, which I wish I could say was an intentional joke that I did it at the last second, but it was not. But I have to go to work. Thank you everybody for just being here for this live stream. This was a lot of fun. Once again, just showing all this random crap that I have and all these Yoo-hoos that I now have to drink. But I'll see you later. Probably the next, maybe not the next like live stream, but I know at some point like a big epic universe like conversation is coming. Maybe like probably like post opening, I'd imagine. But I don't know, just to really experience the entire land once it is fully open, and to be able to ride all the rides and eat at all the restaurants and see the shows and stuff. That's going to be awesome. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you soon. Have a great day. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming to the live stream.